We are going to be looking at some creepy videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video.
So I keep trying to make this video, and halfway through, once I start talking about what I need to talk about, the volume goes away. So, cool, let's try this again. I just got off of a 10-hour shift where I was on my feet running all day. Right afterwards, went to the gym. Pushed myself pretty heavy, so naturally after a day of running and then working out, I'm exhausted and hungry. All I wanted to do was get some food before I went home, went to bed, and did it all over again. And I came to Cookout in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, right outside of the Nashville area. And I order a tray, I park my car, I get about halfway through my tray, all my cheese curds are gone, almost done with my barbecue sandwich, and I bite into this. It's a tooth. It's a chip of a tooth. I threw up my entire meal. And you know, that was one of those things that, like, I had my suspicions. It seemed very likely that these fast food chains are doing what they're rumored to be doing. But you know, so since I've been learning about that, I've been staying away from, you know, like McDonald's, Wendy's, the main ones. Starving, there's nothing open, so I went to Cookout. A freaking tooth. I'm sick to my stomach. I can't. To wrap your brain around this. Never eating fast food again.
There are some people, not many, but some people are suggesting in his comment section that what he found may have been an animal tooth like a pig. Maybe, it's not guaranteed it's an animal, but maybe. But I have an interesting story of my own. When I was a kid, I was eating a Milky Way. Now, Milky Ways, they have no nuts inside. It's just malted nougat, caramel, and chocolate. It was one of those fun-sized, smaller ones. As I was eating it, I felt something hard inside. I take it out of my mouth, put it in my hand, and I noticed it looked like a small child's tooth, and I can actually see the molar. I just instantly threw it away. It was one of those things where you were so creeped out, you didn't tell anybody. I never told my parents, but I stopped eating Milky Way altogether. But if I knew what I knew now, I would have stopped eating all types of candy, fast food, and all that type of junk back when I was a kid. Who knows what half of this stuff is made out of, including candy. And the scary part is it happens a lot more than we think, especially with candy, chocolate bars. Matter of fact, come to my surprise, looking this up further, this woman also found a human tooth inside her Milky Way back in 2010. So I have no doubt whether he found a human tooth or a pig tooth, at the end of the day, I still believe Soylent Green is people, and a lot of people are eating it. And also, while looking this up further, I ran across this very, very disturbing news story that happened about 6 years ago, but the fact that I haven't really heard much about this, especially coming from news and media, lets me know that it was quickly swept under the rug, because what happened to this individual that was running this whole operation is a very shocking twist in itself.
First at 10, it's been more than 5 years since ABC 15 first exposed a scandal involving a body donation business in Phoenix.
A place known as the Biological Resource Center, and a place with one promise.
Connects those who wish to donate their body to science with medical research and education facilities.
Turns out the donation was just the beginning.
The owner accused of selling bodies and body parts. A trial set to begin in just months. And tonight, new grisly details of what the FBI says really happened.
ABC 15's Nicole Valdez is live. And Nicole, this paints a Frankenstein-like picture.
Yeah, it really does. Katie and Steve, closed for years. This building off 24th Street and University doesn't look like much, but according to new claims in these court documents, the Biological Resource Center was essentially running a chop shop for human body parts, mixing, matching, and selling them in ways we'd never heard of until tonight.
Described as unsettling, but it sounds a whole lot worse. One FBI agent revealing what it was really like inside the Phoenix body donation facility. In 2014, he saw everything from buckets of heads, arms, and legs to coolers filled with severed penises when the FBI raided the building.
Confused and angry. We thought this was going to be doing some good.
He even spotted a smaller head sewn onto a larger torso in a, quote, Frankenstein manner.
It wasn't a choice we made. It wasn't a choice any of the families made.
Body parts piled on top of each other inside Biological Resource Center, where families donated their loved ones for medical research.
Discoveries of sickness and disease, maybe come up with a cure.
Some say the company violated everything they promised.
Tragedy that's never resolved, and it just keeps going on and deeper.
The limbs, according to that agent, with no apparent identification. The company sued months after the FBI raided families claiming their loved ones weren't treated with dignity and respect, a promise written on their own consent forms. The company also accused of selling body parts for profit after saying they'd only use the parts they needed and would cremate the ones they didn't and return them. A torso with a head apparently went for $2,400, a leg about $1,100. They'd even sell knees and feet alone for under $500.
Now, the owner of the Biological Resource Center was already sentenced, but he was only given probation. He will be back in court in October, though, for several civil lawsuits filed by Arizona families. For now, we're live in Phoenix. Nicole Valdez, ABC 15, Arizona.
So yeah, the fact that this man was doing this to these body parts, selling them to who knows who for who knows what, and I can imagine a couple things given the previous news stories, the fact that he only got probation lets me know that this rabbit hole runs very deep and there are some very powerful players involved. I found this very interesting video from 7 Essence, and I do remember this episode of The Simpsons, and it takes place in the future, and we have to remember The Simpsons is one of that form of media where they always have to tell us what's happening ahead of time.
Now, so I've been rewatching The Simpsons, and if you guys don't know, there's a lot of predictive programming. They tend to tell the future with that show, and they put stuff blatantly there to show us what's really going on. Now, the episode I'm about to talk about specifically, it's season 11, episode 17, and you guys want to go ahead and fast forward to about 6 minutes and 10 seconds in. Now, Bart goes to the future, 30 years ahead, which puts it 5 years from now, so it would be 2030. But Homer's eating a box of cereal, and on that box of cereal, he holds it up and he says, "You guys want some Soylent Green?" And on the box, it says, "Now with more girls," shows people on it, this, that, and the other. And Ralph goes, "I thought they put people in that." And Homer says to him, "Oh, you're one of those." If you guys haven't looked into the fast food industries and what they're putting in the food, it's called Soylent Green, and it's comprised of people. Now, it's funny that there is only one state, just one out of all 50 with laws against cannibalism, and it's Idaho. So if you don't want to secretly be eating people, maybe check out the food there. But it's ironic and funny that they put that on that show 25 years ago, you know, going 30 years into the future, which puts us 5 years from now, and they're openly talking about Soylent Green and eating people. Now, if you don't understand, there's been human DNA found in every McDonald's testing facility, or processing facility, I should say. And it's quite disgusting when you do the math and figure out there isn't enough cows on the planet to sustain just McDonald's beef alone that they say that they feed people. Like I said, go give that episode a check, guys. Let me know what you think. What's really in the food.
In this next creepy video, I have to say I've never seen anything like this before, but these people were in a moment of silence during this protest when a certain weapon was used against them.
Breaking news, this is in Serbia. There was a mass protest. This is the creepiest non-paranormal thing I've ever seen. Watch this. I've watched a lot of videos of protests. I've never seen something like that before. This is supposed to be the biggest, one of the biggest protests in Serbia's history, by the way. I've never seen that many people be that quiet before, and then all of them react at the same time. So here's what the mainstream is saying. Now, according to the Globe and Mail, human rights groups and Serbia's opposition officials are accusing the government of using a sonic weapon, an allegation the country's Ministry of Internal Affairs and the Serbian president have denied. Now, when I Googled this, I saw a notice I'd never seen before. It looks like the results below are changing quickly. If this topic is new, it can take time for reliable sources to publish information. So this is why I sourced the Globe and Mail. This may be a sensitive subject. I use a mainstream source.
That is absolutely wild to me, and some people that were there said it sounded like some kind of powerful machine that was hurling up from behind. Others heard a rumble, a whoosh, and then a sensation of something speeding toward the crowd. They felt this wave just travel through them, and it just separated them. But talking about very strange sounds, what in the world did these people hear?
What the is that sound? You can hear that, right?
Yeah, what is this?
I've got no idea.
It is strange.
We're up at Bonnie Down.
Like up on the hill.
Anything up there?
Can't say anything, but I can certainly hear that. It's aliens.
It almost sounds like a plane. There's no plane.
What the?
But what's creepier is when the sound and noise goes away, especially in the Appalachian Mountains, like what happened to this individual, and he wasted no time getting out of there.
And just getting some fresh air. And I wanted to thank everybody for getting that video to 1 million views. That was pretty crazy. I didn't expect that at all. Usually I'm stuck in like the 200-300 range, but out here in Appalachia, we kind of experience some really weird stuff, and it's hard to explain, but I like hanging back in the woods. It's just really creepy sometimes. You know, do you guys... All the noise just disappeared. Time to go.
This next video clip absolutely scared me because on my other channel, Minutes of Horror, I have been talking about AI, but there's a new form of AI that's greatly surpassed Google VO3 called Sora 2. And, well, just take a look at this video clip.
What's up, everybody? It's Mike, and tonight we're giving you the smoothest vibe in the game. This is our brand new Smooth Berry Thrillers in.
And I'm bringing the heat with Mamba Mint.
Cool, clean, and clutch.
Just
2
like
for
we
12
like
only
it.
while we're live, so hit that.
Like I have said in multiple videos time and time again, this is the AI that the public has knowledge of, that we have access to. Imagine the technology that is actually hidden from us. This next video confused so many people. They were absolutely shocked in the comment section to learn that this was just AI.
Copy, we have eyes on the suspect. Shepard Mix got a tray of ribeye. Hey buddy, drop the steaks for me. Easy, good boy.
He came in through the loading dock. It's been running
Ready?
circles
Go
around
ahead.
the cooler.
Relax, bud, you're okay.
And this individual made a very good point at the end. With this Sora AI made by OpenAI, you can actually frame people for anything.
Someone let me know if we should be worried about this. So OpenAI just came out with Sora 2, and some of the videos that you can make with it are kind of crazy. So not only can you create videos with just text, but you can select other people on the platform that gave their permission. I'm just gonna click myself. And I'm gonna say I want myself doing an on-field interview after winning the Super Bowl, and when I hit send, this is the video it generated.
I feel like a meatball in a snow globe right now.
How's it feel to finally be champions?
Feels like I should have stretched more. My hamstrings are writing an angry letter to HR, but hey, a trophy makes a great ice pack, right?
But you can also put yourself in movie, TV show, and video game scenes that you normally wouldn't be a part of. So I'm gonna say I want to be in an epic Pokemon battle versus Pikachu.
Buddy, let's see what you got. Pika! Coming in!
But I'm worried about people using it to get other people in trouble. For instance, here's body cam footage of someone's German Shepherd getting pulled over. And with just a simple prompt, I can make myself rob a bank.
Easy. Slide everything in 10s and 20s, no die packs. Right through the gap, please.
Sir, just money, no one gets hurt.
That's the plan. Keep them coming.
Here, more 20s.
Good, last bundle. Then we're done.
That's everything in the
Zipping
drawer.
up.
And you have to wonder, why are companies like OpenAI giving the public such powerful forms of AI? There has to be something out there making itself known, some type of entity or entities, and I constantly think of demon face syndrome, and they want to give the public AI so whoever captures whatever we're about to see on camera, the public can just say, that's just AI, it's only AI. I've seen better with things like Sora 2. In this next creepy video, this driver is asking the internet what in the world did he drive up to. Zooming in, it does look like a child, but the way that he was moving, my discernment screams something's just not right about this, and he was right, the driver, just to get up out of there. In this next creepy video, what is going on in Houston? 6 bodies turn up in 2 weeks, but 22 bodies in the span of just the beginning of 2025. And the police, they are being very mum about this.
To Texas now, and the push for more information about people found dead in different bayous around Houston. Officials say 6 bodies have been found in Houston's bayous within just 2 weeks, and records show at least 22 deaths in Houston bayous so far this year. Let's bring in CBS News national reporter Karen Waugh live for us now from Houston. Karen, understandably, many people in the city are afraid that there is someone dangerous out on the loose. Is that a theory?
That's definitely a theory, Elizabeth, but Houston officials say that is not the case. They say these 22 deaths are not related. Officials are really trying to stop these rumors that there's a serial killer on the loose in the city. But understandably, people are afraid that violent crime is growing. You can just imagine 22 deaths in this year alone in nearby bayous. And of those 22, the medical examiner has only released the cause of death for 6 of them. The medical examiner says of those 6, 4 of them drowned, 1 suffered a cardiac arrest, and another died by suicide. And also, of those 6, 3 were accidental, 2 involved drugs, and another involved blunt force trauma, officials say. Elizabeth?
A lot of horrible coincidences there, Karen. And Governor Greg Abbott addressed public safety today in a press conference. What did he have to say?
Yeah, coincidences indeed. And the police say that even though they don't know how a lot of these people passed away in these bayous, there's no connection whatsoever. But going back to one of my most recent videos on Minutes of Horror, I had spoken about how AI has been around for a long time and is possibly manipulating the past, the future, and this is where we possibly get the Mandela effect. And I came across this very interesting video.
In California.
Jack, this was the result of a formula which was given to me by a man who landed a ship at my airport in 1953. And we put this formula under research, tested a number of experiments on a bench in a good electronics lab in Chicago, and we produced phenomenal results with evidence that we should do it on a larger scale in order to be able to do more with it. And this evolved out of something that started in 1953 into a 4-story high machine that we're working on down there today.
Now, George, I don't care whether the machine is 4 stories high or 40 stories high or 4 inches high. When I say calmly and unexcitedly, a time machine, what does your formula tell you can do with a time machine?
Well, Jack, our formula has no time factor, which electronic formula does have. And on the other hand, electronic science has only had 2 dimensions to work with, the electric pattern and the magnetic pattern perpendicular to it. And we discovered a 3rd zone, which we call a time zone, and we are working through this zone with an effort to orient the magnetic field to give us other results than our science can obtain at present.
George, it's double talk to me. A time machine means to me a little box that I can go into and go back 5,000 years or forward 10,000 years. Is that what your formula tells you can do?
Well, Jack, this isn't a little box. This is a four-story machine focusing fields that we can orient to produce this zone big enough for a man to get into. It isn't a box.
But what happens to the man when he gets into the zone?
Well,
I'm all agog with curiosity.
Jack, we've discovered this zone is subject to thought. Now, since time doesn't record events the way we do on calendars and clocks, you could only record an event by thinking of it. Now, theoretically, we believe we can take a videotape magnetic camera into the time zone and photograph Lincoln's Gettysburg Address or Caesar's armies marching. Clocks, you could only record an event by thinking of it. Now, theoretically, we believe we can take a videotape magnetic camera into the time zone and photograph Lincoln's Gettysburg Address or Caesar's armies marching or anything that's ever happened.
All right, let me get this straight. In other words, you're telling me, like H.G. Wells imagined 50 years ago, that everything that happened in time is still there to be seen by the recreation electronically of a thought which exists.
Jack, you know how you talk into a tape on a tape recorder and play the interruptions back, identical to the play that you made. The Earth's magnetic field is the same way. You can put interruptions into it and play them back out of it. An associate of ours in creating a magnetic coupler with this principle coupled in the Earth's magnetic field and played back TV shows from stations that aren't even in business anymore.
You mean that an experiment has been done to bring out of the air television programs which have been and gone?
Been and gone.
Now, where was this experiment conducted?
It was conducted in Santa Monica by an associate of mine.
Why hasn't this hit the headlines throughout the world? That's a time machine in action. If I can...
Jack, the reason it hasn't hit the world is because, as I understand it now, the Navy Department took him and the research over because he also discovered he could bounce magnetic echoes off the ionosphere and locate submarines under the ocean, regardless of where they were.
So who is this associate of yours?
This is a fellow named Charlie Arts.
Charlie Arts?
Yeah.
And is he a free man walking around today?
Well, he's free where he is in this...
In this next creepy video from the interstellar discussion, I'm honestly thinking that these orbs have been here for a long, long time as well. And these orbs are not UFOs or aliens, but something that's always been here.
A mass UFO sighting coming from Poland near the Baltic Sea, observed by a lady called Sedri and many other people, hundreds of people. Mysterious lights over the Baltic Sea captured attention this evening. Numerous witnesses and recordings showed the same phenomenon. The objects remained visible in the sky for around 7 minutes, from 7:20 p.m. to around 7:27 p.m. The sighting was reported even from towns located nearly 90 kilometers inland, right? So many people on Facebook, on Reddit, have been sharing photos and footage of the same anomalous type activity taking place. Not only just one, but multiple versions of this light formation as well. Some stationary, some were seen moving inland, and others were phasing in and out as well. So there's another one that's a farmer caught in Poland, and then there's another one that's it's pretty bad quality, but this was seen inland, and then multiple photos seen as well. And this phenomena reminds me of what multiple people have seen over the ocean. There was an instance where someone found 14 luminous orbs over the water. Now, this was a separate sighting that happened many years before, and there's even sightings from the 1990s and 1980s of the same things happening, of lights rising in and out of the ocean, stationary in the sky, either flying off and then vanishing shortly after. So this is a phenomenon that has been happening for quite a long time, and it goes with a lot of the strange stuff that we have witnessed over the years of things coming in and out of the ocean, right? Because I feel there's some things that exist in our waters that we're not being told about.
Check out this interesting article I found from the Los Angeles Evening Citizen News, Tuesday, January 11th, 1945. Officials try to identify seared bodies. From blackened military insignia and other identifying marks, Army and Navy officials today sought to identify the burned bodies of 24 persons killed when an American Airlines passenger plane crashed in the foothills after turning away from the fog-shrouded Burbank Airport early yesterday. The victims included 18 Army men, 3 sailors, and 3 crew members. All apparently were killed instantly when the plane plowed into the slope and exploded, investigators said. The plane, bound from New York, was due at the airport shortly after 3:30. Lockheed test pilot Joe Towell, the first to arrive at the wreckage, located just 5 miles from the airport, said all occupants were dead. A small brush fire had been started by flames from the smoldering wreckage. Neither wheels nor landing flaps were down, which authorities said indicated the plane apparently was not preparing for an emergency landing. The dead crew members are J.R. McCauley, R.G. Eitner, and Leila Dock and stewardess. All were from Burbank. Okay, so a Lockheed test pilot, like this guy, it's like the middle of the night, because if they were, the plane was due to the airport shortly after 3:30 a.m. So this would have been the middle of the night when this plane crashed, because it looks like they were coming in for a landing and it was too foggy. That's what it seems to imply, that they turned away from the fog-shrouded Burbank airport. So this Lockheed test pilot just happened to be up and about when this plane crashed, and he just shows up to the wreckage? No, I don't think so. What happened is this was some kind of experimental something. They lost control of the experiment or the craft, and these people were burned to death. That's what happened. And so this guy, Joe Towell, came to probably collect evidence and mitigate public interest, so nobody asked too many questions about all these poor 18 victims who were burned, and all that's left of them is blackened military insignia.
So yeah, I instantly became suspicious as soon as I saw the 3:30, but it definitely sounds like these people were caught up in some kind of experiment. In this next creepy video, I have been noticing more and more videos, news stories, and so forth of children being attacked spiritually.
One day, while Jacqueline was upstairs in the shower, her daughter was playing downstairs. Suddenly, the little girl came running upstairs in a panic. Curious about what had scared her, Jacqueline decided to check the security camera footage. This is what the camera captured.
Blowing off steam. But now at the casino, she's playing to avenge Paul's death. She lures Victor into a trap, letting him gain his confidence, win a few hands, just to see what his tendencies are. But then she goes for the throat.
Within 4 hours, Sally has cleaned Victor out, winning the entire $100,000 pot.
Frequently, in a poker game like this, because the stakes are so high and emotions are so high, often these disputes are carried away from the poker table. You would become so angry that you would act out violently.
Instead of just leaving the game this time, Sally's scared.
Her daughter was calmly sitting at the table when something slid across the floor toward her, as if to get her attention. Moments later, when she walked over to the sofa, something seemed to grab her arm, and a shopping bag on the sofa tumbled down by itself. Jacqueline later shared images of her daughter's arm, showing clear marks where something had held onto her.
This world is falling to evil and darkness more and more, and children seem to just be the prime target all the way around.
Explain what was going on in your early childhood when you got that phone call that one night.
I moved back with my mother when I'm about 13 in Brooklyn. The phone rings, and I pick up the phone, and I hear, first, I can hardly hear just like coordinates, like numbers, like 7, 6, but in a strange voice, but very low. And then I'm trying to listen, I don't quite, can't get it. And then the volume increases. Then Stephen Hawking.
I am a computer on board a spacecraft orbiting Earth. We are from the future. We are contacting 400 receptive young minds who we can teach our technology to. You must tell us of your own free will if you wish to participate in this project. Yes, no.
And I'm thinking to myself, no. I think, internal dialogue, no. But then I feel like an electric shock go from the base of my spine to the back of my head here, And I hear myself saying yes.
Good. You will begin to meet the others in 20 years.
I will begin to meet the others in 20 years. So it's got to be time travel. They're telling me what's going to happen 20 years in the future. It's Sunday morning. Sharon's mother brings in the San Francisco Chronicle Sunday paper. I open up the San Francisco Chronicle magazine section, and there's a big multicolor major spread on Stanford Research Institute testing Uri Geller for his paranormal powers.
With Uri Geller, this is Edgar Mitchell, who, with his eyes covered, is trying to pick up the number that Geller is sending. Also, we see Wilbur Franklin of Kent State, Harold Putoff, and Russell Targ of SRI, along with Don Schuick, Vice President for Research at SRI.
So I say, hi, this is weird, you know. So Monday morning comes, and I say, I got to call these guys. Get on the phone, call the Stanford Research Institute. Brendan O'Regan gets on the phone. He says, Dr. Sarfati, we were hoping you would call. This is Twilight Zone now, right? So we were hoping you would call before you left for England. So they already knew I was going to England. Okay?
Whoa.
Okay? And they said, could you just drive up? They knew where I was. Yeah, not far from this car. It's an hour and a half. Again, say, can you come up to Stanford? I'd like to talk to you. Part of that meeting, you can listen to it because the CIA, they tape recorded the entire meeting.
What is the subject of this get-together? We assume that there are people like Geller, Swan, and others we've seen who can do some or all of these things that we think that Geller can do. Okay. I'd like to try and find out what sort of psychic space-time they live in.
In there, you can hear Russell Targ. So Russell starts about Jim Hertag and the UFOs as time machines coming back from the future. So Russell Targ talks about it.
But Geller also talks about UFOs.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
The reason that I threw this digression in is because Geller feels his information, as you know, comes from UFO, or comes from the powers.
And then I said, I remember that. Hey, listen what happened to me. And I tell the story that I told you. I tell the story.
Should I mention that experience, or do you think it's, well,
Which one?
you know, what happened to me?
Well, it's kind of funny because it sort of ties in a peculiar way with the notion of like the particular UFO thing that Geller talks about that are inherently intelligent. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Hal Putoff, and he never told me the details, indicated that what happened to me with the phone call happened to him.
True enough, yeah.
And Brendan O'Regan says, oh, yeah, we have data, several hundred cases of kids. We have data of that. We know about this.
If this is true, this just goes to show that aliens, UFOs, they're not from a distant planet. They're not from space. They're something that's always been here, and children are being tested when it comes to them and probably latching themselves onto them like some sort of demon. It is very sad that in every decade, even up to today, children are just constantly being experimented on.
When things do go bad in Appalachia, they go bad fast. And this young couple learned that the hard way. This video is a little bit older, so the quality isn't great, but you can still see what they came face to face with. Many people are claiming this entity is an elemental entity, which is mainly found out like in nature, in the forest. Regardless of what it was evil, and it changed these people's lives. Hope and pray you never encounter something quite like this.
Wait. That was it again, right there. Wait.
I don't like this.
You see that? Right there. Look.
Oh my god. That's not an animal. I don't like it.
Okay. Fuck. Go.
What happens to be eerie is that you can definitely see something cloaked moving throughout those woods, but the problem is, in the day and age of AI, we don't know if it's real or fake, and that's the real problem. And that's something I said previously, that there could be real things out there making themselves more known, and yet with AI the way it is, we'll always see that as the answer first. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.